Hey folks, this is Ryan with AJS Wildlife Solutions, and I wanted to bring you up here today to show you how we're installing these high-C 30-inch by 30-inch roof vent guards. And this is the tight mesh version, which is great. We love to utilize these. One of our most common products when it comes to wildlife proofing vents on top of roofs. These are made in the USA, just down the road here in St. Louis. And again, an awesome product that we use all the time. And so I wanted to kind of go over what we're going to be using today, setting it up, and then doing a couple of really neat things to show you how to keep debris from getting bait up behind it. But let's go over what we're using today. So installing these, I'm going to be using these 1.5-inch, 1/4-inch bits screws, which are really nice because they are self-tapping and they are also self-sealing. But we also like to be a little reassured, so we're going to be dipping these or using our solar seal here as well to go in through the roof decking and secure these onto the roof. So what's really clutch to have is obviously a very good, clean, magnetized 1/4-inch bit. Clean is the key, so you don't want to have any solar seal or anything like that in there. And this is going to give you a really good bite and give you a really good seal on those as well. So we're going to head up here in just a moment. I'll show you how we set up, and then we're going to show you how we use one of these as well to set our traps on. So whenever you're ready, we can head on up. All right, so before we head on up, I want to make sure that, one, safety above all else. I am carrying a very large piece of equipment up this ladder by myself. So what really helps in these cases here, I've got a 24-foot ladder, and then up above it there, I have what's called a lockjaw. That is going to keep the ladder locked to the gutter while I'm heading up this thing using this large piece of equipment. So that truly helps making sure it's secure, we're not sliding back and forth, and I get a good stance when I get up there, because remember, 3 points of contact at all time is super important. So let's go on up. Now, as you can see, that lockjaw there kept this ladder from wanting to move side to side on me in case my weight wants to shift from one side to the other, carrying this large piece of equipment that might be a little awkward. It may not be as heavy, but this thing will catch a little bit of wind. It may shift the weight from one side to the other. So those lockjaws are clutch when it comes to making sure that I'm safe getting up this roof. So come on up. All right, so now we're up on the roof, and we're going to begin to install these 30-inch by 30-inch roof vent covers over the existing mushroom vents that are up here on the roof. We know that of the 4 of them, squirrels have been getting into one of them right in the middle here of the roof. So I want to start by sealing all the rest of them up and funneling to the one that I know the entrance is at. So what I want to look at is how I'm going to put this up on the roof first off. We can always do it traditionally and square it off with the actual shingles. But what I like to do on these lower pitch roofs is angle it to where nothing's going to bay up behind here. Sometimes there's trees, there's a debris blowing around, pine needles especially. Love to get stuck behind these on the lower pitch roofs. When rain comes down, it doesn't always wash it away. To help prevent that, I'm going to turn this 45 degrees and have the ends pointing upward and downward like a diamond shape now instead of square with the roof shingles. That now gives an angle at the top here for when the rain comes down, if there is any debris, it'll wash away the sides and not get stuck behind it on the upper portion of the roof. So what I'm going to look at next is where are my screws going to go, and I like to mark that spots where I'm going to put my sealant at. Now mind you, we are using these self-sealing 1.5-inch screws, but we always want to be rest assured that we're not leaving any kind of damage underneath there or any kind of holes where water can enter in. So these self-sealing screws are great on their own, but it's good to make sure that there's nothing getting in there besides what's supposed to be there. So let's go and start installing. Now before I begin putting anything on the roof as far as sealant or screws, I want to make sure that the flange around this guard here is flush against the roof and contour to the shingles or whatever pitch you may have. Sometimes they're flare up, sometimes you may have some spots that are higher than others. You want to make sure that this is sealed all the way around. Mice and rodents can still get under smaller gaps, bats, things of that nature. So making sure that this is sealed up against this before you start putting anything in there is going to help tremendously. When we do go to install the screws, they are going to pull it down a little bit, but you don't want to pull it too much because then the screw begins to spin and you create a hole. You want it to bind, hit it tight, and then stay there. Over screwing or over tightening it is just going to cause it to drill a hole. We want to make sure that this goes in snug and stays there and doesn't spin on us. Now, there's a couple of methods as far as applying sealant to the flange around here or to the screws. I like to use the sealant itself, get it to where it's ready to go and primed, have a little bit come out here at the front, and I like to dip What this helps to do is it keeps any excess sealant from being around it and it's unnecessary, and it really coats the threads of that screw as I'm getting ready to install it. And if you just put enough on the front of it, you don't need a ton of it. You still got space to handle the screw. Get it into your magnetized 1/4 inch clean bit. Remember, clean is clutch. And you are ready to install. So again, I want to make sure that my angles are right and it's perpendicular with the direction that I want it to go. Following those spots there on the sides are really easy, but I like to start in the upper corners and work my way down the roof. What that helps me do is making sure that I'm square up at the top here, leaving that flush, going down. And again, just to where it gets just tight and brings that flange down a little bit, and then stop. Over tightening it will cause it to drill a hole and you'll end up having any kind of water leakage, damage to the roof, and you don't want that. Just snug enough with that sealant in there and you're good to go. And we wash, rinse, repeat. For this instance here, I'm gonna be putting about 4 to 6 on each side, 2 on each corner, and then 3 to 4 in the middle, depending on how large it is, the kind of space it is, and then obviously keeping that flange tucked in against the roof. Now there may be a couple of times where folks are in the hurry, and this is a great application as well, but it's not always effective and it's not always the proper way to do this, but you could just come around and just dab here, dab there, dab here, dab there. You're not gonna properly get that good seal and stuff. So what I like to do is take my time, install these properly, because again, you could cause damage to the roof and make more harm than good. So taking your time, making sure that your threads are evenly coated with your sealant, evenly spacing out your screws, and remember, watching where that flange is. Tucking that flange down against the roof is important. It leaves no gaps here. You know that there's sealant on your threads and you didn't over tighten it and start spinning. So this is going along really well. We're gonna continue on and we'll move to the next one. Now that we're installed, just wanna double check, make sure everything looks good. All of these have been dipped in sealant. They all took very, very well. No excess sealant around it. The flange is flush against the roof here, so you're not leaving any gaps for animals or critters to kind of sneak underneath. It does have that beautiful aesthetic to it, and they're all gonna be the same. What I'm gonna bring you to next is how we use one of these vent covers to set our traps on for nuisance wildlife. We use the same vent cover over and over again, and it'll be temporarily set up with our traps coming off of it, so we're not having to put a bunch of screen or rip these roof vents off in order to set our traps successfully. So let's move on to the next one. So what we've got here is one of the same vents, except you'll notice that it's been modified here where we cut this out and we push this down to allow our traps to be set up against this. What's nice about this is that we can reuse this over and over and over again. So it's just gonna be installed temporarily with our trap set on it and then a camera monitoring everything. This one here is designed to have 3 of our 3x5 live squirrel traps set against it. Now, when I came to do the inspection, I knew that this squirrel came out of here because it was on the roof sunning when I walked up, and as soon as I got up here, it jumped right back in. So all 3 other vents, as you can see behind me, are gonna be all sealed up completely, but this is the one I'm gonna set my traps on. This is definitely the main entrance. As you can see here, these are cut and designed to make sure that my traps fit in there. I'll wire them up to it. We'll set our camera on here, and then again, just temporary screws that I'm not gonna have to go all the way through the shingles or roof decking, just to hold this on so we can funnel them into our traps and be much more successful. So sometimes folks ask, why you got so many traps? Well, this time of year, we're seeing a lot of squirrel pups become very mobile. Without truly knowing how many there may or may not be in there, I always err on the side of caution to trap as many as you can, as quickly as you can. I did see one during the inspection. That doesn't mean it's the only one. I wanna try to get as many squirrels as I can in these traps, hence all 3 of them there. I'm gonna sister them together, wire them up, and attach them to our vent cover here, and we move on to the next one. All right, now that I've got my traps sistered together, so that way they don't come loose on me, and whenever there's a squirrel in here, he doesn't knock one of the traps out of there, I can go ahead and open these up and get them set, ready to go. Now this is positive control trapping. There's no bait in these traps. I'm not trying to catch all the neighborhood squirrels, like we talk about, but I am trying to get these guys as many as I can, as quickly as we can. All right, now that these are set and that my position is right, I'm gonna go ahead and throw some temporary screws in for my roof vent guard. Once that's locked in, I'll be able to wire the traps to the actual roof vent guard so they're not gonna budge and go away, and that when the squirrel or the animal gets inside of here, it doesn't feel it move and shift, and it really will commit to this trap. So now that I've got this temporarily set on the roof here, as you can see, I'm just using the 3/4 inch lathe screws so they don't go through all the shingles, the roof sheathing, and the roof decking to avoid any kind of water damage. In this case, less is less. Less screws I use, less holes I have to seal up when I go to pull this and put the actual brand new roof vent guard on top of this. So now that that's secure, I've got my trap system together, I'm gonna wire them to my actual roof vent guard and we're good to go. So now we're all wired to our reusable roof vent guard here, and I kept it very simple. A little bit longer on the wire here, so if I have to come back and do a relocation or service trip, I can go ahead and take these off and still remain using the wire or be able to clip it very easily. Also, same thing with sistering them. If I only catch one squirrel here in the middle, I can try to transfer it to a different cage, or I just simply take these two off here, slide the middle one out, and then put a fresh trap in there that's empty. So yeah, again, less is less in this case here. Doing less of it now makes you less work later on, and you still have this very secure. It's not going anywhere. You could try to screw these down, but the downward angle of this here is gonna be perfect for catching these squirrels.